Hello, everyone, and welcome along to the very first edition of my Business Stories podcast. So excited to be here and really pleased you could join us. Just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Darren Moore. So the usual format will be a couple of shows a month and usually about 20 to 25 minutes long. And we will be interviewing a guest on each show. We will find out about their experience in business, how they started, what drives them to succeed, how they make decisions, how they lead teams, and the highs and lows of their journey. So I'm really looking forward to that. We've already got some great guests lined up for the next few shows. Hopefully along the way, there'll be lots of valuable content that you guys can pick up on and take away for yourselves and use in your own journeys, whether that's personally or in business. So why make a podcast? Well, it's a bit of a personal mission, if I'm honest. So I've been on a bit of a podcast journey, I suppose you could call it, in the last year or two. I tend to start with sort of one person that I'm interested in. I'll listen regularly. They'll get some good guests on, and then you get into a new subject matter, or you get their book, and then they'll introduce you to the next person. And yeah, it's just a wealth of knowledge and resource. And I just love that kind of spider's web effect of going off on different tangents, and that introduces you to new people and new subjects. And so on the back of that, I just thought it's something that I can add a bit of value to. I can give the listeners some interesting guests, and hopefully everyone will be able to take something away from each interview that they can then implement into their lives or into their businesses. So it's a win-win. So I've been in business for probably 30 odd years, originally motor trade, and then more recently we've transitioned over into logistics. So my business is Dash Couriers, and we've been on the receiving end of some business coaching in the last few months. And I've got to say that has transformed our business and our approach to things massively. In the early days, we kind of tended to do everything ourselves, and we didn't really ask for any outside help, or we didn't outsource anything. But since we've taken all this coaching on board, our approach has changed and our achievements have just escalated. So I'd highly recommend that to anyone who's on that journey. Make sure that you are putting some trust into outside people or outside companies that are clearly more expert in doing those mundane or those specialized things to get better achievements, better results, should I say. And then you free yourself up to focus on the more important things of your business, or the more enjoyable things in your business that you want to do.
Do you need to move freight or parcels throughout the UK? Dash Couriers is an award-winning, nationwide courier service with a wide range of vehicles, ready for immediate dispatch. We'll move anything from an envelope to a truckload of pallets and can collect within 1 hour for urgent shipments. Contact Dash Couriers today for a superior delivery partner. Find us online at www.dashcouriers.co.uk.
So part of that coaching is being accountable and taking action. Now, they're fairly basic things, but they are things that I think a lot of businesses tend to overlook. Certainly a lot of sole traders, when it's just you don't have teams to delegate stuff to, and the buck stops with you. So you've got to make time in your day to do all these things. Now, setting goals anyone can do, and everyone does, because that's part of a business plan or deciding how you're going to approach it. So we can all set the goals, and that's fine. But then you've got to then be accountable, and then you've got to follow it through and take the actions. So setting goals, for example, say you're going to set yourself a goal of getting 4 new clients a month, then okay, that's a goal that you can try and do, but break that down into small pieces that are more achievable. So then your goal is to get 1 client per week. Okay, break that down even further. What do you need to do to get 1 new client a week, depending on what your business is and how big your ticket price is? So if you need to get 1 new client a week, how many calls or how many emails or how many social ads do you need to do to get that one new client a week, and break it down further into your daily tasks. We've kind of learnt that having smaller goals is much easier to achieve. And then that adds at the end of your month, when you have actioned all those small daily goals, you look back over the month, and because you made 10 calls a day, or because you sent 10 emails a day, you've managed to get your one client a week. And you've done that 4 times, you've managed to get your 4 clients in a month. But the small goals that you can then take one day at a time, you look back on that day and you completed them, hey, you've done it. It's much easier to achieve. So going back to my reason, why do I want to make a podcast? It's exactly that. I just set myself the goal of making a podcast, a personal goal. So I set the goal, I broke it down into small little pieces. How do I make a podcast? Because people will think about it and then they'll maybe get overwhelmed by, well, I don't really know where to start, or it's this massive thing of all these things that I've got to do to get to the podcast. So you just break it down into manageable bite-sized pieces. So you've got to sign up to the software, you've got to get the equipment, you've got to find out how to publish it onto the platforms, onto Spotify, Google, Apple Music, etc. But take those things one step at a time and then action it. And that's what I've done. It's taken a while, but we've got here, actioned it, and here we go. It's a personal goal, and that's my, I guess, selfish reasons for doing it. And then, of course, on the back of that, it's a perfect opportunity to give business owners and entrepreneurs a chance to talk, come on, be a guest, and offer hints and tips to you, the listener, that you can then go ahead and use in your business. So there you have it. That is the first podcast done and dusted. Thank you so much for listening. It's been awesome. I've really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to getting the first few guests on. We've already got some great people lined up to interview and to learn about their stories. It'd be fantastic if you could subscribe, if you wanted to share this with anybody else that you know, and reach out if you'd like to be a guest on the show, or if you know somebody else who'd be perfect to share their story. That would be awesome too. So come back real soon, and we'll see you again on the Business Stories podcast.